dispense with?
Without objection.
Mr. President, earlier today, the Supreme Court issued its long-awaited ruling in King versus Burwell. And as we all know, the Court has once again decided to rule against common sense and the plain meaning of statutory language in order to uphold the poorly drafted Affordable Care Act, which, by the way, Justice Roberts says has a lot of ambiguity and poor draftsmanship. Even worse, with today's decision, the Court's ruling failed to hold the Obama administration accountable for its reckless execution of its own law. The plain text of the Affordable Care Act authorizes subsidies only through state exchanges, not the federal exchange. This decision will allow the administration to continue ignoring the law in order to implement its own preferred policies. As Justice Scalia said in his dissent, we should start calling this law SCOTUS care. Only Justice Scalia would come up with something like that, which I find extremely humorous. Justice Scalia continued saying, quote, "Perhaps the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act will attain the enduring status of the Social Security Act or the Taft-Hartley Act, perhaps not. But this Court's two decisions on the Act will surely be remembered through the years. The somersaults of statutory interpretation they have performed will be cited by litigants endlessly to the confusion of honest jurisprudence. And the cases will publish forever the discouraging truth that the Supreme Court of the United States favors some laws over others and is prepared to do whatever it takes to uphold and assist its favorites," unquote. I couldn't have said it any better myself, Madam President. Needless to say, Madam President, I'm disappointed with this decision, as I know many throughout the country are. But at the same time, I am undeterred. As I said here on the floor last week, Obamacare has been nothing but a long series of broken promises that include skyrocketing costs, reduced access to care, and more government mandates hanging over our health care system. Today's ruling changes none of that, Madam President, just because the Court decided to, in my opinion, misinterpret the statute. Doesn't mean that the law suddenly works and that all is now right with the world. For the good of our health care system and hardworking taxpayers throughout our country, we still need to chart a new course on health care policy. Unfortunately, with the current occupant of the White House, those kinds of reforms are not currently possible. But make no mistake, Madam President, Republicans in Congress have a plan to help the American people by repealing Obamacare and replacing it with reforms that will put patients, not Washington bureaucrats, in charge of their own health care decisions. I am co-author of the Patient Care Act, a legislative proposal that would replace Obamacare with real reforms and would actually reduce health costs without all the burdensome mandates that have come part and parcel with the so-called Affordable Care Act, which is anything but affordable. Moving forward, I, along with the co-authors of this proposal, Senator Burr and Chairman Upton over in the House, will continue to seek input from experts and stakeholders and use every opportunity to give states more freedom and flexibility. Once again, any workable reform must lower costs and put patients first. That is the only way we will end the negative consequences of Obamacare and help the American people move past this misguided attempt at health care reform.